Greetings and welcome to the Spiritual Awareness Journey Program, Season 2, Episode 24. Thank you for your presence here today. We are truly happy to see you here. And thank you so much for joining our virtual spiritual talk platform, where the practical application of all things spiritual in our daily living is shared and discussed by experienced speakers from all walks of life, as well as by our special guests who are realized souls called Mahatmas. This program is brought to you by the Manav Dharam YouTube channel. I am your host, Supriya Koirala, and we wish to extend our warmest welcome to you, joining from all around the globe as you spend this precious moment with us while we address this episode's topic, devotion. Like the most fragrant blooming flower, devotion beautifies our life with love, light, grace, and wisdom. It is our means by which we connect our mind and heart with our interests, our talents, gifts, skills, work, callings, or our innermost yearnings, all in the pursuit of happiness or the satisfying feeling of accomplishment or being made whole. Devoted, we perform acts with an intense commitment, sacrificing our precious time or even life. We strive for excellence, giving it our all, doing our utmost or doing our best to have a beautiful and accomplished life. And as humans, we have the innate potential, capacities, and capabilities to achieve our goals and go beyond our expectations, breaking records and superseding the norms. Though realizing the transient nature of these worldly achievements, we start seeking for a deeper meaning, for a more fulfilling life. So we turn inward. Through spiritual knowledge, we can go within and forge a soul connection, uniting our mind and our heart with the divine within. And through this dedicated practice of focused attention, we can develop these spiritual virtues: patience, gentleness, kindness, compassion, understanding, acceptance, appreciation, generosity, righteousness, filling our hearts with love and contentment. These are the true wealth we build through our relationship with the divine presence within. The scientists devoted to the new quantum sciences are now sharing their findings of the quantum field, that all in the universe is in constant vibration, all is energy, and all is consciousness. While the scriptures on which the religion here on earth are based share the disciples their stories, these devotees, having received the spiritual knowledge imparted by the living enlightened spiritual master of the time, and through their devout meditation, experienced the truth, the omnipotence, that is the vibration, omnipresence, which is the energy, and omniscience, which is the consciousness of the Almighty. And enlightened, they proclaimed that God is light and God is love. And today we will hear from our distinguished panel, Mrs. Sharmila Nanda from UK and Mahatma Vyoma Baiji from India, about this heart-moving topic, this process of the act of the wholehearted surrendering with faith and trust called devotion, a means through which we humans, as the spiritual beings, receiving the spiritual knowledge, commune with the divine within and forge a pure connection with our own spirit, our original spiritual source, in this way of starting our own spiritual awareness journey. While devoted to our own meditation practice, we connect to our source divine. Hence, we can achieve this pure state of consciousness and experience enlightenment. And we, belonging to one race, the human race, meditating can achieve our true state of wholesomeness, living in a spiritually enlightened world where peace, joy, contentment, and bliss will reign. The Spiritual Awareness Journey team wishes to announce that our 45-minute program will be recorded and will be available on Manav Dharam YouTube channel with subtitles afterwards. Our Q&A session will be at the end of the presentation of both our speakers. The chat box will be opened only for your questions about this topic to the speakers. Thank you so much in advance for your questions. And now we are happy to introduce our first speaker to you. From the UK, our very first speaker, the eloquent Mrs. Sharmila Nanda. Sharmila Nanda lives in Leicester, UK. She has been a part of Manav Dharam Society for over 20 years. Alongside her family, she supports the society's activities in UK as well as participates in virtual programs from around the world. Sharmila works as an office administrator in a school. She loves connecting with people from all walks of life. Her spiritual teacher is her biggest inspiration, and she hopes to continue walking on the true path shown by him and inspire others too. Here now, Mrs. Sharmila Nanda.
Thank you, Supriya, for the very kind introduction. My greetings to respected Baiji and to all those who have joined us on this program today. I am here to share my thoughts on the topic, devotion. I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizers for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my thoughts and understanding on devotion. Devotion simply means love, loyalty, dedication, commitment, sacrifice, and surrender. It is our enthusiasm for a person, activity, and spiritual or religious beliefs. It is the unconditional love and honor we feel in our hearts for someone or something very dear to us. When we are born, our parents are totally devoted to us, especially our mother. They love, nurture, and protect us. There is a deep connection felt in each other's hearts, and the love blossoms between them with time. The parents' dedication in bringing up the children is immense, but it also comes with expectations for the future. They hope and expect that the child will grow up to be a good, virtuous human being and acquire all the qualities needed to thrive in this world. They prepare us. Devotion and love can also be seen in other relationships like siblings, friends, spouses, etc. Sometimes with this tremendous love, there is a hope to gain something in return. In the world, we generally devote our time to someone or something in the pursuit of happiness or something we love with the hope to gain the maximum comfort. We would also dedicate ourselves to our gifts and talents, skills, interests, studies, jobs, businesses, all in the hope to earn the maximum wealth while we are on this earth. And in one way or the other, we tend to commit ourselves to the achievements of better and grander possibilities. So you can see, we make great efforts to be able to enjoy life and be happy on this earth. The question to ask ourselves is that, are we really happy and enjoying life? Are we totally satisfied with what we have achieved in life so far? If not, then it makes one wonder where the true happiness lies. I've heard from learned people that contentment is our biggest wealth. If you think about it carefully, it is true. You may possess a lot of wealth, but if you are not happy or satisfied with it, then you're no better off than one who does not possess much wealth. In fact, they may be wealthier with contentment and happiness. Can happiness really be found in the material wealth or fame? If that was the case, then we would not hear of celebrities or wealthy people undergoing depression or anxiety. However, we have seen that that happens. We often hear that on the news about big celebrities, famous people who have everything they need, but they are undergoing anxiety and depression. So it shows that happiness does not only lie in wealth or fame. Are we channeling our energy towards something that would make us feel happy all the time? Most of the times, the happiness we feel is temporary and it doesn't last long. For instance, when we buy something new, like a car, a new house, or a new mobile, new clothes, we all know that the joy and excitement we feel is not the same after a while, and the novelty wears off. We would have made great struggles and sacrifices to acquire all those things which we thought would keep us happy forever. This makes one think that eternal happiness may not lie in the worldly acquisitions. The pursuit of eternal infinite happiness may lie in virtues like contentment, joy, peace, kindness, acceptance, consciousness, and bliss. Actually, the true spiritual wealth. We have to experience both worlds to realize where happiness truly lies. You may have heard about Lord Buddha, who was an enlightened spiritual teacher in ancient India in the 6th century. Once someone said to him, "I want happiness." Lord Buddha quoted, if you remove I and want, you will remain only with happiness. What a great message in a few words. It means that if we remove ego from our minds and remove the desires, then we will remain with happiness, giving us infinite bliss. You will have noticed that sometimes if we keep our mind free from desires or being self-centered, we automatically feel at peace with ourselves. Devotion can be directed towards both the material and spiritual world. Obviously, whilst living in the world, we need to perform our actions and duties. It is important to devote ourselves to all the people and things that we love and care for. Although the most important thing is the unconditional love and trust, which opens our hearts. It uplifts us instantly. Where there is deep love and compassion, when there is deep love and compassion in our hearts, we feel so peaceful. It uplifts us and draws us towards the highest vibrations of energy, the supreme energy that we are all part and parcel of. And now, as Supriya mentioned earlier as well, that the new quantum sciences, we hear that we are all part of the universal divine energy. With research, it has been proven by some that science and spirituality are actually connected to each other and not two separate entities. Since time immemorial, we hear from spiritual teachers about this supreme energy that is omnipresent in each and every particle in the world. It is all pervading. To be around teachers who are knowledgeable and have experienced that energy is the first step in spiritual devotion. With an open heart, one should try to absorb the knowledge that they impart. They tell us all about their experiences and the glory of Almighty. Being around such positive people creates positivity in our mind and hearts. These are important aspects in devotion, I believe. If we focus our mind on positivity, our hearts automatically open and our nature becomes pleasant. To have a nice nature without any ill feelings towards anybody is also a part of devotion, and it uplifts us. It will enable us to see everyone equally, and that will remove ego from our mind and have a pure heart, which enables us to absorb good things with an open heart and feel love for everyone, a very special quality. Talking about nature, I remember a story I read about Socrates, the famous Greek philosopher. The story is about the power of conscience, one's moral values, and how that reflects on their behavior. Once, when Socrates was talking to his disciples, an astrologer came along and claimed that he could tell a person's character by just looking at the face. The astrologer looked at Socrates and claimed that from his face he could tell that he had anger issues, greediness, and tendency to be rebellious and incite others to do the same. On hearing all this, his disciples got very angry, but Socrates calmed them down. And what he did was he rewarded the astrologer and asked him to leave after he finished. The disciples were so surprised that Socrates rewarded him even after he had said such negative things about him. Socrates explained that whatever the astrologer said about him was true. However, he had made one mistake. The astrologer had missed one thing. He had failed to mention about the power of conscience, the quality he possessed, by which he can keep control over all those negative things. The moral of this story is that no one in this world is perfect. Everyone lacks something or the other, but by using the power of our conscience, we can overcome all the negativity in our nature. It has been stated in some scriptures, the only thing that is perfect is the divine energy from which everything has been created in this world, from which everything originates. Through spirituality, we can learn to connect our mind to that highest divine energy that resides in all of us in the form of the soul. The soul is part of the universal energy, and thus it gets attracted towards it. We can learn all about it from a spiritual teacher. Just as we would need a maths teacher to learn maths, an English teacher to learn English, a physics teacher to learn physics, in the same way, we need a spiritual teacher to learn about spirituality. From such a teacher, one can learn the techniques of meditation and how to connect the mind to the inner consciousness, the divine energy. This is how one could stay detached from the world, although living in it. From my understanding, it doesn't mean that we have to physically isolate ourselves from the world. It is important to carry out all our duties and actions, and we should not step away from that. Devotion is all about the mind and the heart, how to keep it detached from the material world while connected to the inner spiritual world. This is something to learn from a spiritual teacher, the one who has realized his soul and has the capacity to impart the same knowledge to others. An enlightened great soul makes us realize what true devotion is and directs us towards the truth. So let us devote ourselves to the true path and channel our energy in the right direction. Let us feel infinite bliss, contentment, and joy. After all, isn't that what we are all searching and yearning for? On that note, I shall end my talk here. I am deeply grateful to you all for listening to my thoughts on today's wonderful and heartwarming topic, devotion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sharmila Nanda, for your generous words. Like you said, in this materialistic world, we dedicate ourselves to things in the pursuit of happiness, but that happiness does not last long and is not at all eternal, right? And the example which you gave of Buddha, which talked about letting go of our ego and then letting go of our desires. When we let go of both of them, our wants and desires, then what we're left with is happiness. And also, how you said about using the power of conscience, we can overcome the insecurities and everything that brings negativity in life, and how through spirituality we can connect ourselves with the highest form of energy. Thank you so very much for your knowledge and sharing your insights. And thank you so much for your time here. And now, moving forward, also a quick reminder to everybody that the chat box is open for your questions to both our speakers on this topic, devotion. And now, moving ahead, we wish to present to you our special guest speaker of the day, Mahatma Vyoma Baiji. Mahatma Vyoma Baiji is a realized soul from Haridwar, India. Mahatma Vyoma Baiji is a disciple of Sadguru Sri Satpalji Maharaj. She has been spreading the message of spirituality and peace to humanity for the last 20 years in the service of Guru Maharaj Ji through the Manav Uthan Seva Samiti, which is a social spiritual organization. Mahatma Vyoma Baiji, through her spiritual discourses, has been spreading the spiritual awakening message in various parts of India, mainly Himalayan states of Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, Nepal, Bihar, South India, and Delhi, and has come today to share with us her experience and deeper understanding on devotion. It is a great honor to be in the presence of Mahatma Vyoma Baiji today, as Mahatma Vyoma Baiji will share with us her personal spiritual understanding and experiences on this topic, devotion. Without further ado, here now Mahatma Vyoma Baiji.
Thank you, Supriya, for introducing me, and my pranams at my spiritual master's lotus feet. And thank you, everyone here. And my heartiest greetings to all the listeners. And we have all gathered here on this platform of spiritual awareness journey. And we have been listening to various topics on spirituality, various important topics like gratitude, grace, and spiritual medication. There were various topics, but today's topic is devotion. So this topic is somewhat new to the Western listeners, but maybe this topic of devotion, this word devotion means bhakti in Hindi. So Eastern listeners are familiar with this word and what is bhakti, what is devotion. But for the Westerners, this is a new concept. Nowadays, many people are talking about spirituality, and many people are getting aware about spirituality, spiritual practices. People are getting aware about meditation and following the path of spirituality in various ways. So, but the concept of devotion, what is devotion? So just now, my co-speaker Sharmila ji just explained what is devotion. It is what it makes us. It lets the flow of love and energy of God flow through us, flow through our body, flow through our consciousness. When we devote ourselves with loyalty, and we sacrifice our we have to sacrifice many things when we have to become a devotee. So the first thing necessary is faith, and then loyalty to the object of your devotion. Many people are loyal to many different social cause, and they are devoted to social cause. Many people in their families are devoted to their family members, like a wife may be devoted to her husband, or husband may be devoted to wife. And there are many social cause like tree plantation, helping poor, helping homeless people, and there are helping those hungry people. So Many people engage themselves, devote themselves to various social cause with all their heart and all their efforts and loyalty and faith. And in return, what they get is they get the reward of a satisfaction, inner satisfaction, and a happiness which you cannot buy by money or by different pleasures of the world or different you know those different enjoyment. The so the real pleasure they get from this devotion to the cause is they get the satisfaction, inner satisfaction. So on this path of devotion, what we are here to discuss is what will happen if we devote ourselves to God instead of any social cause or any our family members or materialistic things of this world. If we divert our mind towards God and devote ourselves to God, what will happen then? So it is like falling in love. Devotion is actually falling in love with God, because when people fall in love with another person, what they experience and what they show is that they show loyalty. They constantly remember the person they fell in love with. They try to message them. They try to read their messages. They wait for their messages. And they send gifts to each other. They give gifts to each other. So when a person falls in love, the scientists say that the secretion like dopamine increases, which is a happiness secretion. So if falling in love with a normal person can bring about a lot of changes. A person may change entirely for the person he loves. He will behave according to his wishes, to one he loves. So what will happen if we fall in love with God, which is called devotion? So our scriptures are full of stories about such people who, instead of falling in love with any materialistic thing or person, they fell in love with God. So this love towards God is called devotion. And now we are talking about spirituality. And when we talk about spirituality, our main focus is on meditation and evolving, how to evolve by how to awaken our inner being by meditation. And everybody is talking about yoga and meditation, and that is what they think spirituality is all about. But suppose a person is physically disabled, and suppose a person is ill and he cannot sit for meditation in a posture, and he cannot do any yoga exercise. If a person is dumb, he can hear any spiritual speeches. So what will happen? What is your future? Whether they have no right to spirituality or evolving spiritually, or how can we help them to evolve spiritually? So our spiritual masters say that spirituality is not about body, and it is not about counting rosaries. Spirituality is not about only different yoga postures. Spirituality is a way of your mind. It is a way of life. And it is all about how you think and behave, and how truthful you are, how honest you are, and all the good virtues like kindness, and many other virtues are there. We show a person is if a person is spiritual or religious. So if a person is not capable of sitting in meditation, so what will happen to his quest of spirituality? How will he progress now if he wishes to progress spiritually? So there are three ways to attain salvation and to attain God. And those three ways, as described in philosophies of Eastern country like India, in scriptures, ancient Hindu scriptures, and in Gita also, Bhagavad Gita. It is said that it is mentioned in Gita that there are three ways a person can attain God or spirituality. Those three ways are: one is the way of karma, another is way of jnana, that is knowledge, and the third way is bhakti or devotion. So our goal is salvation, our goal is nirvana, and our goal is to be one with the Almighty, the all-pervading energy, that supernatural energy which all even scientists are talking about now. Our goal is to be one with that energy, to merge with that energy through meditational practices, to focus our mind on that energy, and our soul is a fragment of that energy. So when we focus our mind in the inner reality, then by practice of meditation, we can attain salvation or nirvana, or a state of bliss, and can be free from the bondages of Maya. But this is a way of knowledge, that is meditation. Then there is another karma yoga, that is the way of karma, by performing karmas that are good karmas, helping others, and serving ourselves for the society, and all the things that are included in good karmas. We have to perform good karmas and be dutiful, and we have to be honest and be dutiful in whatever we are doing. That is karma yoga. But bhakti yoga is something beyond that. Bhakti yoga is like loving God with all your mind, body, and heart, and constantly remembering God, and always focusing your attention on God, and be loyal to God. So Bhakti Yoga has the power to transform our inner being. Bhakti Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga or the devotion of a person can transform him entirely and can bring him to attain a stage of salvation. It can fill our mind with peace and bliss. So in Ramayana, there is a story of Shabri. Ramayana is an important religious epic read by many Indians from years. For thousands of years, Indians are reading Ramayana. And there is a topic about devotion in Ramayana. The topic is about a lady called Shabri. She was a tribal lady living in the jungles of Dandakaranya. And when Rama was sent to exile, and when Rama was passing through that jungle, Rama met Shabri. And Shabri was a illiterate lady and uneducated and a tribal caste. But still, she had a feeling of love for Lord Rama. So Shabri had a spiritual master. She served her spiritual master with all her heart and mind. And then her spiritual master graced her and said, "Hey Shabri, you have got you are so loyal to Lord Rama, and you are so good in your service to the saints and the living master. So you will get the reward." And Sabri asked the spiritual master, "What reward I will get?" He said, "Lord Rama himself visit your hut, but I don't know the time when he will visit. But in future, you will be rewarded for your devotional feelings by the visit by Lord Rama." So Shabri at that time was a young lady serving her spiritual master. But after her spiritual master left his body, she started living in a hut, and every day her routine was to clean the hut and collect some fruits and flower and put the fruits in a bowl and wait for Rama to arrive. And then she would sit for meditation, close her eyes, and start remembering Lord Rama. Many days passed like this. She had the same routine every day. And after a few years, she was old lady. She became an old lady. And one day when she was sitting in meditation and remembering Lord Rama, suddenly in her meditative state, she saw the image of Lord Rama in simple clothing. And she saw that Lord Rama and his brother Lakshmana were coming towards her hut. In meditation, she saw that. And she knew, and she very happily, she called Rama to her hut. When Lord Rama came to her hut, he sat there, and Shabri with love and respect and with humbleness offered the fruits she collected in the morning to Lord Rama. And Lord Rama was very happy and pleased with her devotion, her daily practice of cleaning the hut to welcome Lord Rama. And for years and years, with patience and faith and loyalty, she was doing this. So Lord Rama was very happy, and he said, "Hey Shabri, I am so happy with your devotional feelings. I would like to reward you with the higher stages of evolution, like meditation, which yogis, after thousands of years of practice, even yogis are not able to attain this stage of inner evolution. So I will reward you with the stage." And so Lord Rama put his hand on her head. And at that moment, suddenly the world changed for Shabri. Everything changed for Shabri. Suddenly, she reached into a deep state of meditation, and she was able to see a vast divine light and such a glorious light she was able to see within herself. Even in Bible, Jesus has said that I am the light of the world. Those who follow me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of their life. So Shabri was experiencing that beautiful light like 1,000 suns within herself, and her mind was so in her mind was filled with bliss and happiness. Her mind was totally calm, and she was in a stage for some while. After that, when she opened her eyes, she bent down to touch the lotus feet of Lord Rama, and she was so humble that Lord Rama has graced her with such an amazing experience. So this is devotion. If we have devotion for God, it may be our own, as per our religion, we may be devoted to Lord Buddha. We can devote ourselves to Muhammad. We can devote ourselves to Lord Jesus. So the devotion has the power to focus your mind in one direction. Devotion has the power to focus your energies in one direction, and then we can easily concentrate all our mind, body, soul, and energies in one direction and achieve the goal of salvation and bliss and peace and happiness very fast. This is the easiest way. This is the simplest and easiest way as told in the scriptures. So in Ramayana, it is in a verse about bhakti. It says that Ram bhakti chintamani sundar basai garud jaake ur andar parama prakash roop din rahiri nahi chahiye kachu diya great bati. That means devotion or bhakti is like a gemstone. It is the gemstone in a heart. It emanates such a beautiful light, divine light. And when you have that feeling, when your heart is filled with devotion, then all your problems are eradicated. All your mental problems, psychological problems like depression, anxiety, will all vanish immediately the moment your mind is filled with devotion towards God. It can it can bring about many changes, physical changes, mental changes. Your heart will be filled with bliss and happiness. So devotion is a new concept. So by just logically and rationally thinking about spirituality is like going to a garden and counting the trees, counting the leaves of a mango tree, measuring the size of its trunk, and studying all the biological of a tree. But a person who will waste his time measuring the leaves will not be able to enjoy the ripe and sweet mango fruit. The person who, instead of measuring the leaves and the size of the trunk, if directly picks the mango fruit and eat it, he will get the experience of the taste. So we all must focus ourselves in one direction, and on the path of spirituality, we must learn to devote ourselves to God, and that can bring a lot of changes and miracles in our lives. So devotion, that's why there is a bhakti movement in India, and as well as many people, many organizations are preaching and spreading the bhakti movement. And they sing bhajans, they sing kirtans, and they dance, and their heart is filled with love for God, and that is devotion. So this is one aspect of spirituality. Apart from meditation, if you want to progress speedily into meditation, then you must also be a devotee of God. You must devote yourself and remember God and love God and fall in love with God. So that's all I have to say now. And thanks for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Baiji, for your words of knowledge and wisdom. Like you said, devotion gives you the feeling of inner satisfaction and happiness. Devotion is like falling in love. If falling in love brings a lot of changes in oneself, then how would it feel when we'd actually fall in love with God? And like you said, that spirituality is not about counting rosaries or doing yoga postures, but it is a way of life. You also told us about the three ways to attain salvation, which are the way of karma, that is the way of doing, the way of jnana, that is the way of knowledge, and third is the devotion. And to merge with that energy is the purpose of our life, because our soul is just a fragment of that energy. You also gave us examples of disciples like Shabri, who had immense love and devotion for her spiritual master. And as a result, Lord Ram himself graced her with his visit in her hut. Devotion is like a gemstone in heart. When heart is filled with devotion, then all the problems are eradicated. I am sure all of us feel more aware and enlightened at the moment. Thank you so much for your words, Baiji. Now, like we're already running out of time, but then like let's have a few question answers. So Baiji, there is like one question which has been asked by Suyoga Rai from Israel, and the question is, what is the difference between rituals and doing devotion?
Actually, rituals and devotion is entirely different things. When we are doing rituals, it is actually rituals are not that much important in the path of devotion. In the path of devotion, all a person need is full love. His heart should be full of love for God, and he constantly must remember God. And did not need he need not have to perform any rituals. Like there are many rituals in Hinduism also. So like Brahmins and Pandits perform many yajnas, pujas, and they apply vermilion paste and sandalwood paste, and there are many rituals. But in bhakti is called independent. It is independent of all the rituals. Because if it was dependent on rituals, then not all human beings would be able to have bhakti or devotion in their. They will not be able to walk on the path of devotion. So devotion is a concept of devotion is that it is independent of everything. Whether you are rich or you are poor, whether you are educated or non-educated, whether you belong to an influential family or a insignificant family, it is independent. Anyone can be a devotee. Even a murderer can be a devotee. In Gita, it is said that if a murderer is rightly resolved and repent for his karmas and then devote himself to God, then God says that I have the power, I can change him completely. I can change even a murderer. So devotion is a way anyone can choose that way, and anyone can walk on the path of devotion. Not only those people who perform different rituals and different practices.
Yes, Baiji, thank you so much. Baiji, one last question before we move towards ending the program. This is from Prakash. He asked, how can one attain a state of pure love, devotion, and faith?
Yes, Mr. Prakash, the answer to this question is devotion is very hard to attain the stage of that feeling of devotion, evoke that feeling of devotion in your heart is very hard. After many years of religious practices or many years of worship, by the grace of God, we get this feeling in our heart. It is evoked in our heart. So we have to pray every day to our God, to our spiritual master, that please give me your devotion, fill my heart with your love. So with constantly praying and constantly remembering God's name, and by constant practice of meditation, we can attain this state of devotion, or we can have the feelings of devotion toward Lord. So it is by merely by the grace of God we can get that, not by our own efforts we can get the devotional feelings. Only God can bestow us with those feelings with His grace.
Okay, Baiji. Baiji, there are a lot of questions coming. So, Baiji, one last question for today's episode. That is from Pratima Chamling, Darjeeling, India. She's asking, in today's competitive world, where the youths are struggling with their career as the survival for the fittest, how is it possible to generate devotion among such peer group?
Devotion can be generated by making them listen to satsang and read spiritual books about the devotees, and even they can hear spiritual podcast on YouTube. There are various spiritual podcasts, and very beautiful stories of sages and saints are discussed. So by listening to such spiritual stories, listening to satsang, we can develop that feeling of devotion within us. So that is why the first stage of devotion is Prathama Bhakti Santankar Sangha. We must keep the company of saints and other devotees, those who have immense love for God. We can keep their company, listen to them, and then slowly the devotion will be, our heart will be filled with devotion.
Thank you so much, Baiji, for your insightful and thoughtful answer. We have now reached the end of our program, and we wish to thank you all for your questions. Our heartiest thank you to Mrs. Sharmila and Mahatma Vyoma Baiji for their time shared here with us and for their insightful answers. You can always reach them by sending us an email at spiritualawarenessjourney@gmail.com with your other questions. I wish to thank each one of you for your presence here today on this Spiritual Talk platform. Our next Spiritual Awareness Journey program will be held on Saturday, 19th of February 2022. Our 25th episode will be on the topic empathy. In this moment in time, as humanity is going through its darkest hours, empathy is playing a huge role in our society and the collective consciousness. Our panel will elaborate on its complexities, its pros and cons, and it will be a very insightful program. So please mark this date on your calendar and join our experienced panel as they will elaborate further on this topic. All our spiritual awareness journeys, previous episodes of season 1 and 2 are now available on our Manav Dharam YouTube channel, where you can enjoy the many other spiritual topics discussing the different spiritual aspects and practical application of spirituality in our daily lives. Feel free to drop us a note with your comments, and if you have any other questions for our guests, please email us at spiritualawarenessjourney@gmail.com. You can check the email address in the chat box. Thank you all, especially our speakers, for their wonderful sharing on this topic. Thank you all again for joining us today. This episode's video will be available with subtitles on Manav Dharam YouTube channel very soon. And feel free to post it on your social media page and share it with everyone. Thank you to our sponsor, Manav Dharam YouTube channel. Wishing you a very beautiful weekend. I am your host, Supriya Koirala. And from all of us on the spiritual awareness journey, wishing you a joyous day. Mark your calendar for our next episode on 19th of February 2022. Topic empathy. Our best wishes. Thank you for joining us today. See you soon. Jai Shri Sachidanand.